Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook. I'm sorry, I got so excited by seeing somebody new that I lost my track. Matthew McBurney is watching from Winnipeg, Manitoba, minus 28 degrees Celsius today. That sounds like Bailey's weather to me. Everybody say welcome to Matthew if you want. I want, and I did. So this is our get-together live here where we take a look at headlines from our city, from our state, from our country, and we take a look at what you're up to, what you want to learn about our city, our culture, about Mexico, so that in the end we can create nurturing connections between one another, between us and our surrounding, and hopefully enrich our lives as a community of English-speaking folk living here in Puerto Vallarta. Most of us full-time. There are a few seasonal folk. And then there are those of you that have Puerto Vallarta occupying a special place in your heart. So you tune in and you're more than welcome. And then there are our friends from YouTube, of course, who get to watch every broadcast after the fact. But for those of us that are here, it is a pleasure to see you. We have a lot of interesting news, cultural news for the most part. We don't have anything that is very newsy, but a lot of the information that I have to share with you feels like a point of departure to other interesting things. And I think the headlines will explain themselves. Before we go there, a quick one to my friend Rita, who I saw last night at Teatro Vallarta. No sling at home. I can take off the harness at home. I get to wear it out and about for 2 more weeks, and then we'll continue to heal. But the most important thing is that right after Saturday's broadcast is when I realized, okay, I went to the doctor yesterday. I finished my obligations for the week. The doctor said I could crochet, and you wouldn't imagine what I crocheted from start to finish in one sitting, and it's sitting over here, and I'm going to show it to you in a little while. But first, let's go through the motions of today. As usual, if you have something really important to bring up, please add a capital letter Q, as Lisa has done here. Amazing job on the Rise Show. What about Fusion 21? Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about our takeaway from the event that I was honored to be invited to be a judge for yesterday. And we will hopefully have a good time today. I think we will. Well, let's get started with what we have. Okay, so this is kind of like a rabbit hole for me because, for starters, I would like to tell you about Gunda. Gunda is a 2020 documentary film directed, co-written, and co-edited by Victor Kosakovsky. The film follows the daily life of a pig two cows, and one-legged chicken, shot in black and white. Joaquin Phoenix serves as executive producer. The film had its world premiere at the Berlin International Film Festival on February of 2020. It was released in the United States on April 2021. Received positive reviews from the critics. And we've just learned that one of its exclusive live screenings in Mexico will take place here in Puerto Vallarta this coming Sunday. The screening is organized by Puerto Vallarta's Short Film Festival and also by a cultural organization called La Central Casa Creativa. So there you have it, a bunch of points of departure, because I'm thinking, what is this film about? What is La Central Casa Creativa? So being curious, I went and did some homework, and for starters, I will leave you with a trailer for this documentary, and it looks truly, truly fascinating. Then I thought to myself, what is this La Central Casa Creativa, and what kind of power do they have, or influence or connections do they have to premiere such an important documentary and screen it on their own? Well, again, I did some research, and I found that La Central Casa Creativa is a cultural center that I never knew anything about in Pitillal. And just from looking at at their Facebook page, they have yoga. Here are some of the activities that they have that they have organized. They have yoga. They have a creativity workshop. Then there's a lecture here on the decision of not being a mother. Competition on erotic poetry in Pitillal. Who knew? I mean, how fun. Then there's a course in photography for social media. So there's a lot of activities going on at this center that seem to be geared to community fostering. And then, of course, I got even more curious about this, and I went looking at their Facebook page. And they have music workshops, and they have workshops for women only. They have creative thinking. They have their own podcast, and I went and looked at a couple of episodes. So who knew there was this place in Pitillal that is so involved in creative endeavors? Needless to say, we are going to be visiting them sometime in the future to find out more about who they are and what they do. And of course, the screening of this film sounds really enticing. Again, it's going to be this coming Sunday. I might also mention that from what I learned about the film is that it is in black and white, and it has absolutely no dialogue. So the film has been praised for taking filmmaking to the core, to its essence, and I think it will be fascinating to watch. Again, it'll be screened this Sunday, and I think it was 50 pesos for the price of admission, 50 pesos. So we'll keep an eye on this during the week, and we will find a way to give you more specific information about this unusual and fascinating event. Now, we also talked about the axolotl not too long ago. Remember, axolotl is an amphibian that is endemic to Mexico that is in danger of extinction, and it is a curious creature because there are a lot of them in captivity, but they are not thriving in their natural habitat, which used to be Xochimilco, the canals right in Mexico City. That's where the axolotl has thrived for many years. And because it's a species in danger of extinction, this past February 16, the municipality of Xochimilco announced an axolotl festival in which 200 specimens were liberated back to the canals. And the event was very well attended, and of course it made a political statement with mayors from Ixtapalapa and Xochimilco being present. But now it turns out that there were no biology specialists involved in the event. No specialists in axolotl preservation were there. And now they're saying that releasing the little animals was not a good idea. Luis Zambrano of the National University's Biology Institute commented on the state of the Xochimilco canals and said that putting a large group of axolotls in an environment that is destroyed is like sending thousands of people to live in Chernobyl just because there is nobody there. People would not survive. So I think it's really interesting to learn more about the ajolote. And what I want to do today is, a few days ago, I watched this awesome documentary on the insane biology of the ajolote. And I'm going to leave it for you to watch so that you can learn more about this fascinating creature. It's about 25 minutes long. It's in English, and it's available on YouTube. I have a little bit of a warning to share with everybody. It's been over a week since traffic lights went down in some parts of Fluvial. So if you're driving out and about, kindly be mindful of this and be careful as you try to get to your destination if you are driving through Fluvial. Let us turn over to our weather, and then we can talk about the weekend, some cultural things that went on, and so forth and so on. TV weathermen get a sick, twisted pleasure out of reporting bad weather. Well, I hope that's not a case. I don't get a twisted pleasure out of reporting bad weather. I just report it, and that's the end of it. Today is 27 degrees, feels like 28. Our humidity is at 49%, which is good, low humidity. And of course, for those of you that get along with Fahrenheit, it is 81 degrees out there at present time. Our weather forecast, we start the week with a clear day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature of 19. And then tomorrow, another clear day, high temperature of 32, low temperature 18. It's going to be a little cooler at night. And Wednesday, another clear day with 31 degrees being our high temperature, 18 degrees being the low. So good weather for the next few days. And now we get to talk about the weekend because we did, let's see, what order are we doing this? Let's do basket first, then let's do quale. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay, so I ended the broadcast on Saturday, and you probably don't care much about what I do with my hands, but I've been trapped in this harness for a month, and I have not been able to crochet, and it's driving me crazy because it's kind of like occupational therapy for me. So Saturday, I finished the broadcast, and the first thing that I did was to grab my hook, grab some yarn, and I made this little hanging basket from scratch in one sitting. I put one of these in my door handle so that I can leave my face mask there and my keys and my glasses and things that I want to make sure that I don't want to forget. And I made that for a dear friend that I'm going to see later on this week. And it felt really, really good to be able to move my hands and do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. After that, of course, I headed into town because I was going to see Zoe Lewis, but I wanted to get into town early because I wanted to get close to the construction site at Isla Rio Cuale and to get a sense as to who's going to win the bet on when the bridge is going to be completed. So I took a walk. First, I started by going into the island rather, and approaching the intersection from within the island. I could see that vendors are trying to do whatever they can with their work. And this video has no sound, FYI, so I'm just going to stop it at a couple of key moments so that I can make a point. Here we are getting close to where you used to be able to just cross Insurgentes and get to the continuation of the island. And as you can see, there is a fence there that prevents you from going up the steps. But I quickly realized that there was access on the right-hand side. See those people walking towards me? So I went up to the ramp. So the ramp allows you to actually get to the other side of Insurgentes. But as I approached, I very quickly realized, no, this is not going to be finished in a month. So I went up here, took a look, and first I looked to the right, if I recall, and let me stop the video right there. So this is looking towards Encanto and towards Emiliano Zapata. As you can see, the whole front section of The building on the right has disappeared, and what we see there is just a small temporary facade, I would imagine, and the pavement is yet to be poured. So that's what that looks like. Then, of course, I turned the camera around to look at the other side. And this is the interesting part because, as we know, some of the vendors are hoping that this space right here, there you go, some of the vendors are hoping that once the bridge is completed, there will be enough room under it for the construction project to create a tunnel where people can continue to walk under the new bridge so that they can travel from one end to the island to the other uninterrupted. At this stage of the construction, even though I saw this big hole in the middle, it is unclear to my very uneducated eyes whether they're going to be able to do that underground throughway for people to be able to get to the eastern side of the island, the cultural side. So I guess we're going to have to keep our fingers crossed and wait until either some statements are made by the government or we have a clearer visual appreciation of what's going on. There you have it. And then I wanted to see what's going on the Quale market side. So we switch over to the Quale. I retraced my steps to look at the Quale, and there you can see the Quale side is still very much under construction, although most of the work on the market itself seems to have been concluded. But that's another view of the bridge that's being built. As you can see, this new bridge has quite an incline, an inclination. And here is looking at the bridge from the other end. And the one thing that I will say is that this whole part of town right now looks like a destruction zone. It is sad. Well, not sad. It is kind of disturbing to see because as someone that is just walking around, you'd think that there's nothing there, nothing to look at, nothing to shop. So nothing to shop for. So I feel strongly for businesses like Encanto, who are right there. So if you find yourself walking in that neck of the woods, do know that there are businesses there that are hoping to be catered to. So keep this in mind when you are walking out and about. As to whether the bridge is going to be completed, I certainly don't think it's going to be completed. Certainly not in February, certainly not in March, and I think we will be very, very fortunate if the bridge gets completed in before Semana Santa. So we'll go back, and we'll continue to rely on whatever news we get about the bridge from folks that have graciously shared photographs or from headlines that we find here and there. Of course, that was in the afternoon. During the evening, I had a chance to enjoy a beautiful performance by my dear friend Zoe Lewis, and I cannot tell you, okay, this is not going to be shade, or I'm not going to, okay, start again, Paco, start again. I have a lot of respect and appreciation for anyone who can personify a specific artist and dedicate 1 hour and a half to pay tribute to a specific artist. There is a skill there. So the Lady Gaga tribute, the Gladys Knight, the Freddie Mercury, all those tributes, power to them. I'm very happy that they're happening. And for those people that like tribute shows, there's no shortage of them. But seeing Zoe live is seeing an original performer singing compelling original songs, telling fascinating original stories, bringing onto the stage fascinated, talented musicians playing original music. And for me, that's like my button. It pushes my button in a big way. So I want to tell you that if you want to experience a great show with odd musical instruments that you don't get to see very frequently, with great story, with great feel-good factor. I strongly recommend Zoe's performance. I know that she's going to have a few more performances at Encanto. So there is that, and that was, of course, my Saturday night. Then Sunday, I spent the whole day crocheting again and waiting for it to be time to go to the Rise competition, where I was honored to be part of the judging committee. It was me and my friend Richard, who performs as Gunda Gabor, and Kim Kuzma was the other judge. And we had a great time doing our work. It was a very difficult challenge because all the musicians were absolutely incredible. In the end, the first prize, I mean, as judges, all we had to do is come up with three finalists. And the three finalists were a band called Eyes on Earth, Enoch, who is a solo singer with originally from Guadalajara with a beautiful, beautiful voice, and Fusion 91, which was a contemporary dance group that incorporates dance styles like jazz and urban and funk and house. And it was so compelling to see all these talented individuals that we know nothing about be not beginners, but people that have not necessarily jumped into professional performing. And they were also thrilled to be there. And it was truly, truly amazing. But the most important part, for me, the most important takeaway is, and we go back, or I go back to the concert that Amy Armstrong and company put together on December the 30th. Putting something together at Teatro Vallarta and making it succeed as brilliantly as it was made succeed last night is not an easy undertaking. So it is humbling to see people in our city that dare to imagine things and dare to put them into motion and dare to spread their enthusiasm among as many people as they can, and then are able to turn their vision into reality. And I am talking about the organizers of the event, the many volunteers that were part of it, the willingness of Teatro Vallarta to work with everyone, the musicians, first and foremost, the talented performers. It was amazing. And the show, the entertainment factor of the evening was great because several of these tribute performers that I mentioned earlier were there to perform and showcase their talent as well. So there was great entertainment from professionals. There was great entertainment from these contestants. All of them are worthy of following. All of them are worthy of a stage. And my own personal wish for the organizers of the event, and more importantly for the performers, the contestants, is that they will make themselves available on social media and that they will tell a story. Because as we want to learn about these musicians, and the only way we can find out about them is if they toot their own horn. So hopefully they will. We'll be keeping our eyes open for all of these performers to see what they do, and it will certainly be a pleasure to try to support them whenever they announce upcoming performances. And that is my takeaway from the weekend. I would have loved to spend more time doing baskets and crocheting, but I was happy to go out and be totally, totally bathed in creativity and good vibes. And that's what the weekend served for me. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And now let's take a look at some of your comments. As always, we appreciate the new folk like Matthew. We mentioned him earlier, and we appreciate you. Good mornings. Oh, and last but not least, it was so great to run into people from the cluster at the theater and through the weekend. It is always a pleasure to meet some of your faces face to face. So it was a feel-good weekend for me, and I'm totally grateful for that. Let's see what we have. Da-dee-da-da. Oh, yes, this was great because, as you know, the performance last night was to raise funds for a local nonprofit called Rise, and which is an orphanage. And some of the kids from the orphanage came up on stage and brought the house to tears. Well, brought yours truly to tears because they performed with the guy that does the Freddie Mercury tribute. It was absolutely wonderful. Da, 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 da. Lisa said she cried when she saw Fusion 21. Fusion 21 is this group of kids that danced together. It was a large group. They owned the huge stage. I know from working with performers and whatnot is that when you're used to rehearsing in a small space and then all of a sudden you have to own a larger stage, it's a challenge because you're used to a smaller space. And these people, these kids, wow, they totally own that stage. They perform beautifully, and I would not hesitate to see a full hour and a half show with them. Let's see. A long one from Den. Saturday night, Kathy and I decided to walk and push our way back to our apartment in Versalles from Emiliano Zapata. That's a long walk, my friend. Sometimes I forget to appreciate the beauty of the nights here in Puerto Vallarta. The energy, bright lights, brilliant colors, smells from neighborhood, taco stands, music were very cool. It's funny how many of those things seem like they are hidden away during the day. You are so absolutely right. Our city comes to life during the night, and I'm happy that my new camera is a little bit more friendly with low light situations. So I'm looking forward to doing walks during the evening. I know that some folks have mentioned before, why don't you walk the city during the evening? And we would look forward to doing that. Absolutely. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Oh, Logan keeps things positive by saying, you think you've heard it all, but tourists never fail to get creative with their needs and idiosyncrasies. That is the most politically correct statement I have seen, I tell you. Let's see what else we have. Ramona's working again after a wonderful trip to Vallarta. I hope you're back with good vibes and good enthusiasm wherever you are. Boom, ba-ding, pam, 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 pam. Oh, great. Scott went and had lunch with our mutual friend Kevin Simpson at La Mara. La Mara is ceviche headquarters in Puerto Vallarta. It's in Versalles, and of course, it is mentioned in our Versalles for Foodies map. Gregory Luneau, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name properly. Another new member. Hello from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, moving to Puerto Vallarta soon, of course. I'm so glad you found us, Gregory. If you have any questions about your move, what to bring and what not to bring, trust me, we have a lot of experience on that field. Let's see. Alan comments on my remark that the bridge will be finished on Semana Santa, and Alan says, Semana Santa of what year? That is snarky, and I love it. Kathleen looks forward to seeing Zoe. I cannot tell you how wonderful that was. And she, working with her is Roxanne Layton right now. And Roxanne, I've had a musical crush on Roxanne for 2 years now. I call her Lady Mannheim because she has been the principal recorder player with the Mannheim Steamroller Orchestra for the last 20 years. So if you know all those wonderful Christmas albums that have been released by Mannheim Steamroller, and if you've seen them live, chances are you've seen her perform. Well, she is in our town, and she's performing along with Zoe. They both live in Provincetown, so they're performing together. And it is so amazing to see the recorder performed by a professional recorder player. You think it's the instrument that they taught you at school? Think again. It is definitely worth it. So go see Zoe with Lady Mannheim while you can. Absolutely. Let's see what else we have. Lots of congratulations for the folks from Rise and Lisa. Absolutely. Who won So You Think You Can Rise? Well, the first prize went to a dancing the dancing ensemble, Fusion 91. And another nice thing that happened with the event is that the event looked for some of the local venues to partner with them, because now the local venues can and hopefully will offer performance spots for these young performers, for these winners, so that they can present a larger program at the venue. So we can look forward to new options in entertainment here in Puerto Vallarta, particularly when they're locals. I mean, it's so empowering to say nice things to young talent as they're looking for guidance and inspiration. It was absolutely delicious. Elizabeth is also new to this daily report and loves it. Welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you very much for joining us. Pari-papi-papoom. Let's see. Yes, that's a great description. Fusion 21 was Alvin Ailey for our times. That is the most amazing description. And oh my God, to see dance on a stage, to see dancers here in Puerto Vallarta. I mean, when they came out, it felt like a whoosh of fresh air, and the whole audience reacted to them beautifully. Oh, and by the way, I think the whole performances are live. There are live recordings of it on the Rice Facebook page. Bill asks if I have spoken about the new equipment. No, I have not said a word just yet, and I'm saving it till I'm sure that you are here. Where is my microphone? Sorry, it's a little lower than usual. I don't mean to conceal anything from you. We are an open book. Here is my microphone. Hello. Congratulations, Jenny. Jenny went and had lunch at El Tiotono here in Versalles. Your first birria. Yes, the place usually gets packed because they are so fucking good. But of course, it's an outdoor place, so it doesn't feel so bad. And this, my friends, brings us to the end of our broadcast. Nothing makes me happier than seeing you connect with the things that we mentioned here. And I have to say, nothing makes me happier than having your trust in our project manifested through a thank you or through a contribution to what we do. Everything that we do takes time. And as you know, this is the way we make a living. So whenever you choose to become a member or you choose to buy a cup of coffee through the website, you are making sure that you have the entertainment available to you. You empower Luna and myself to continue creating good stuff for you, the community that you make me a part of every single day. Thank you from the bottom of your heart, of my heart. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and yours for your contributions. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.